Face front true believers, welcome to issue 141 of the Pitch Nerds. We are the weekly show where a couple nerds assemble to argue about Star Wars and bring you the latest in nerdy news and reviews and nonsense. I'm Cap, and joining me today, as always, best friend, fellow nerd, and metalhead, Mr. Frosty. Mr. Frosty, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, tired, and, the usual.
The usual.
But I'm here. I made it.
Present.
Struggling to get all the content done and ready for today's show. Like, I set my alarm for 8, and, I was just like, God damn, this is too early, so I went right back to sleep. But and then I was like a mad dash to get it all typed up. I mean, unfortunately, I spent many hours, well, what seemed like many hours last night watching a movie, so.
So, my goodness, what do we have going on today? It's sort of
it's actually a pretty quiet day. It's
but
kind of
I think with what we have, there's a lot to talk about.
I mean, yeah, we can always just. I got some other stuff too, just in case we want to. I mean, let's see if we can get Super Killer. If he shows up, we can have a long discussion about the
contents of that vial.
Yeah, he's really big on Tolkien at the moment.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm already annoying him. He was like something about Balrogs, and I was like, fun fact, the Balrog was likely based on the Jotun Surtur. Like from you know Surtur because of Thor Ragnarok, but yeah, no, he's a character in the I don't know if he's in the Edda sagas or both, but you know that whole show Vikings, like Ragnar Lothbrok and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's a saga from the first 2 seasons are based on the on the saga.
Factually sound.
Ragnar Lothbrok and his sons. So it's kind of interesting.
That's an awesome name, Ragnar.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, nobody. Wish I had that name.
You can.
So what have you been up to?
Oh, working. There's been an absence of sport noises, so in the absence of sport noises comes the rise of the secondhand sports. So now we're getting the ESPN, the Ocho again. So
yeah, so if you watched our show last week, Cap informed me of the wonderful world of breaking in the Olympics.
Yes.
And then as soon as we got off, it without you anyway, I'm just saying additionally, it trickled into my feed. And then obviously I'm sure the world knows about it now. We had Australia.
Right.
Yeah. Performing her kangaroo style. It was interesting, sad because it may have been what killed the breaking in the Olympics because they are not coming back.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? So apparently there's a controversy where either her boyfriend or her husband was actually one of the judges for the qualifiers, and that's how she got in.
Yeah, they basically made it so she was the. I mean, I've heard that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Again, I don't know the details of it. I try not to, unless something's an official source. I try not to just decide on stuff. We actually got some news on similar stuff like that in Behold.
Right.
I mean, in the news side of things, nerdy news.
Right. But anyway, so what do you think? If you remove the whole thing with Australia, what did you think?
I thought it was great. Specifically, the guy that was the gold medalist, the men's
Canada.
When I saw that dude performing, I was like, because the other dude came out and he did more what I would expect to see,
right?
But it was very acrobatic, and he was fully extended and spinning around.
But he messed up. He took a small misstep, and I actually caught it. And the judges caught it.
But I always think shit like that's funny because you're watching all this craziness, and then you just see that foot, and everyone's like,
right.
And then meanwhile they're walking later, and there's perfectly flat sidewalk, and they're like, oh shit,
right.
And it's part of the fun. You're sitting there, and you're just like loser, And then, like, you think anyone could do that.
Right. But no, my favorite is when, because it's turn-based combat, right? So
You
you have,
said that. I mean, yeah,
so
they
it's
take
like
turns.
round one, and then you do your thing, and then the other person just like, yeah, I'm taking note. Like the way they gesture and how they posture is just hilarious. And sometimes, like, yeah, woo. Other times it's like, oh, duh. So it's fun. And then I think it was the
You have to lift your shirt and show your abs.
yeah, right. You gotta shut up and take my money. I want more of this. This needs to come back. West Coast 2028 Olympics. Bring back breakdancing.
And Snoop Dogg, I guess, was the one that introduced it.
Right.
Yeah, it was a weird thing to experience. Like I said, Canada. Like they watched the first guy, and I was like, wow. I guess he was France.
Yeah, the guy from France I thought was the best, but then
See, I didn't. Yeah, I think Canada, because as soon as the Canada dude, like, his wasn't quite as like big, but all of a sudden he's just doing all these like tight little intricate moves.
yeah.
And I was just like, man, the moves, the guy, like, what is this? This guy's insane.
So
And
what happened was the guy from France, he was performing and he tried to do a move and he had that misstep, but you recover and you just keep going on. You just do something else.
I know when you watch
So-
it, it's like
so-
you
so,
can
but-
literally feel the crowd turn
Right.
to it.
But
like,
what happened was when it was Canada's turn, he went and then he did the same move that the dude was trying to do, and the commentator was like, "Oh, see, there he is, like rubbing it in. Yep, there's that move." So there's drama and suspense and how they're like shit talking each other through dance, urban dance. It's fun. Like the stage looks like a Smash Brothers arena. It's just glorious in every single way. I want them to start summoning like Bakugan and shit.
I liked. I mean, obviously, we got a lot of good memes too out of Ray Gun, which was fun. Like,
God.
there's like a cat like laying on the floor, and it goes together and then rolls, and someone's like, "Who did it better?" And then it shows her performance. My favorite was, do you ever watch Ozzy Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ozzy Man reviews. He
Yeah.
did it, and he was like, "Oh, she went down into a pot, and then hidden magpie, and like it's so fun." You know the thing I can't get over? Like, it's not Olympics, but like Caitlin Ohashi, do you know who that is?
Remind me.
She's this like gymnast that's like, I don't know, like she always gets I don't know always, but the performances I saw, she got 10 out of 10, and they were insane. But she has this move where she like flies up, splits her legs, and then just slams down and then pops back up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh.
the part that cracks me up about it, and I'm not making this up, you can look this up, is it's called the Clam Slam. And
Oh my God.
my mom explained to me it's not because of what you think. It's because,
It is
like,
exactly what it is.
I mean, it could be, but there's the muscle there called like the clams or something like that.
Okay.
And
How
but
convenient.
yeah.
That's too convenient. It's way
It's just a weird
too
thing,
convenient. I
You're
believe
listening
the
to,
muscle
like-
was named after I think the name of the thing came after the observation. Oh, that looks like a clam. Does that make sense? I think it came in that
I
order.
don't know, but I just, for me, the weird part is like people like talk about like her move, and they're like normal, like they're not. It's not like frat guys or anything. It's just like people that are into gym and gymnastics and stuff, and they're like, yeah, she invented the move, the Clam Slam, and it requires all this like training and effort to pull off, and they just keep saying it over and over and over again, and you're just like,
Shut up.
this is like, I've entered some bizarre reality.
Some weird norms around here.
Yeah. Man, look her up at some point. She friggin' crushes it, though. You can see why she got the 10 out of a 10. I mean,
Yeah. So
the-
what blew me away was the women's 4x4.
this wasn't Olympics. This is going back. But
Okay.
yeah, I know.
But no fancy names or anything, but the women's 4x4, the U.S. slaughtered. It became a race of second place. The camera had to pan so far back, like like a quarter of the turn. They had to pan back because that's how big a lead the U.S. had over everybody else.
Oh no!
What? Are you okay?
Frozen.
No, you look fine. Anyways,
No, there we go.
so
No.
shall we get into more nerdy stuff? Yeah, we're
Yeah,
talking.
it looked like my camera must have been locking up a little bit there.
We've
but
been
I guess I'm
talking
back.
way too many sports on the nerd show.
Well, everybody knows that we're the #1 feetball fans.
Yes,
Um.
balls and scores. Yes.
All right, yeah, I got some stuff. Let's see. Charlie Cox. People have been talking to him because the new Daredevil series. But he's saying that he would love to see a Spider-Man Daredevil team up. I said because it's so iconic. He said he hopes a direct quote: "Spider-Man and Daredevil together is so iconic. I hope we get to work together again." I agree. That would be dope.
That'd be cool.
I do. Like Daredevil's like super acrobatic, and I've often thought this every time I read it. It's like, yeah, you're the super agile guy, but you're also standing next to Spider-Man, who probably makes you look like a piece of shit compared. It's like, oh, I've got my special senses because I'm blind, and all the other I got spider sense.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's like going from like a early MacBook to like. Like they both kind of do the same thing. Just one is just so much better.
Yeah. But I mean, I agree. I do like it when they team up. So I'd be down. So we talked about it briefly. I don't want to go too into it because I like to keep things generally on the positive side. But I felt that we had to address it since we're such big '97 fans.
Yeah.
But
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, so okay, so this is all. So basically, the news is Bo DeMaio allegedly sent nude photos of himself in sexually suggestive hero poses to several young male staffers working on X-Men '97, saying they could be used as inspiration. He also allegedly, this is very important, this is all allegedly, groped an assistant multiple times and is emotionally, physically abusive to other staffers. Now, he's saying that's not the case.
So people are pointing to a tweet that he posted of him as Cyclops during a Pride Month as there because there he is. There's the proof of him sending things to things like he
posting a tweet is whatever. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is these are allegations. We don't know. If it's true, then yeah, it's messed up. If it's not, then it's messed up on Disney. I'm not going to pick sides. I know Disney has better lawyers. But I mean, I don't like to pass judgment until I know.
Apparently, Disney's already gone ahead and removed him from the being accredited on season 2.
Season 2, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Apparently, he's going to try to fight back, but Disney attorneys are able to talk their way out of a wrongful death at a restaurant due to terms and services on their Disney Plus subscription.
I don't think they have.
So, can you imagine the legal precedent of this if Disney... I mean, I'm not saying it will, but God forbid, like, some Supreme Court says, yep, that's okay.
It's not... That's the whole thing, though. They're trying to go to litigation.
Right.
Because that's where the companies have, like, more power.
Right.
Because then it's like powerful lawyers versus like you and your lawyer, and it's not in a court setting. Whereas the defendant or what? Not the defendant. I guess I don't know the illegal term, but the other people are trying to get it in front of a jury because all of a sudden Disney's power is less strong then.
Right.
Because then you have people going. Because I think anytime you put this in front of anyone with any kind of like logic, like, wait, you're saying they signed up for your Disney Plus account, so now you're not like responsible for death at a park? I mean, come on.
Right. it seems like such a South Parkian thing. Like it's it's just fascinating.
That's why I don't think it'll work.
I know, I know, but just the audacity, because apparently this was I'm not sure if it's a Disney-owned property, but it was a restaurant that was essentially paying Disney to be present, to be there. So Disney could just be like, hey, it's their problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that'd be a much more sound legal strategy. I don't know, Disney. Perhaps you can give me a bag of money and I can run it through some crunch some numbers on ChatGPT. I think if you were to shift the blame over to the other guy, just trickle it down. Blame the chef. My goodness gracious, blame the chef.
I mean, but he still works for them.
Right. I don't know. It's it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the bow thing, though, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna really.
We reserve judgment until all proceedings have concluded.
Yeah, I try and be like that with everything. Well, let's move on from that. I mean, the show was fantastic. I'm looking forward to season 2 and season 3. So the Penguin. We have some updates on that. It's going to premiere on September 19th at 9 p.m. And subsequent episodes will premiere on Sundays at 9 p.m. starting on the 29th.
Okay.
So, I mean, here's the thing. I don't really care about the show. I don't really have any interest in watching it. I mean, like, if you're into it, cool. I just don't. A Penguin show, like,
yeah,
with that version of Penguin, I mean, like,
just Gotham Crime City, just underbelly.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, maybe if it like brings in like other rogues gallery kind of people and it brought in some of the more fantastical elements, but I guess that wasn't really the aim with his movie. So I don't know. It's another Batman without Batman. It's a Pennyworth. It's a Gotham. It's.
You know what I would do? Treat Batman like an episode of Cops. Like, have Batman, like we talked about this with Spawn, focusing on the detectives and treating Spawn
driving around. He's got like the camera crew in his back. Okay,
like,
he's like, yeah, I got a disturbance at the Penguins Club, the Iceberg Labs.
Right. But then you have holy shit, like treat it as almost like Predator in a sense, because Batman does sort of act like Predator in a way with like hunting and trapping. So, God, I think that'd be cool as fuck. I'd watch the shit out of that. And get some no-name, like, hey, Gotham PD, we gotta fix our public image around here. We're gonna have a film crew follow this cadet out into Gotham, and,
I would be cool if they did it, like, I don't think it would work, but if you wanted to do a Batman where Batman isn't the main character, I would make Batman almost like a horror monster.
Yeah.
To the bad guy. So in other words, you got like Falcone and Penguin, but they're always worried that like, oh shit, Batman's out there.
Boogeyman is coming, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then have the story be about them, but like it's almost like Batman's this like inevitable force coming after.
No matter what they do, he preemptively is already there, like way ahead of it.
They kind of did that in that Suicide Squad film. Because the animated one, I
haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen the?
Oh wait, yeah, I did. Yeah, sorry, that the older one, right?
Hell to Pay is the second one, but the first one, yeah. So, basically, Batman's there, but it's following the Suicide Squad. But then you think at one point one of the characters beats Batman, and they're all like, "Oh my god, you took down Batman!" But then it turns out like he put on like he like somehow swapped out his outfit with him, and then he's been following him around. I think they thought he was like their ally the whole time. But all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, that's Batman. Stuff like that. Like I thought that was cool.
That's cool.
But you have to make the character. I guess why that's fun is because the Suicide Squad. Not everybody loves them, but they're interesting in and of themselves when done right.
Right.
But yeah, something like that.
I would love to treat Batman as a cryptid, just or like the boogeyman. See, that's fantastic. That's great. I want to see that. Do that.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it.
But yeah, as far as the Penguin, I mean, I don't know. I mean, are you like, is anybody out there excited for it? Is this like really like? I suppose if you loved the Batman, you might be like really excited for more of that universe.
I thought the Batman was a fine movie. I just don't need to invest more into the Penguin.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more interested in a younger Batman. Like, that seems more interested than Penguin. Like, an established Penguin. I don't know.
Do not mess with those I hate. No.
Like to remind our viewing audience that cats are dicks.
Yeah, he's just being. I changed my room around, so he's just like, oh, I'm gonna mess with something. But anyway, also he's just trying to get my attention. Alien Romulus. I guess it's been doing fantastic. It's certified fresh. I think my food's been here.
Want to go for a quick break? We can talk.
Yeah. I mean, you can just talk. I'm just gonna run downstairs. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back. The universe is a lie, and welcome back. Frosty has emerged without food. No.
It'll be here soon. Oh, that's what he took a picture of it as he picked it up. I didn't know they did that.
Oh.
Anyway.
Did he tastefully find a way to like place his ball sack in the background?
Hopefully not. I would be upset. I don't like. I mean, they seal most stuff nowadays to prevent ball sacks. Anyway, so Alien Romulus has been doing really well. It's got an 81% on certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It's the third highest rated Alien movie. It's being described as an intense, chilling. What?
That's good because you got aliens, Romulus.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay, huzzah.
Anyway, so it's been described as an intense, chilling ride of terror with sequences similar to the Dead Space games.
Yeah, I heard that they utilize zero-G in this. That sounds cool.
They did it in Apollo 13 too. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They flew a plane parabolically to.
Yeah.
To
apparently Tom Hanks got sick all the time.
And did he? I didn't know that.
I mean, you're doing this all day long. You're doing this.
I'd like to try it.
That's a commitment to a role. You know, just okay. We're going up. Okay, we got to make sure the plane's going down and action. And you're just free fall
and
floating.
You're only like in that weightless state for like a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I bet that was expensive too. I don't know.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, it sounds dope. I like the reference to Dead Space. I think
it felt Dead Spacey because
did you see Romulus?
Not yet. We were probably going to see it today, but the youngling had her performance last night, so I think she might want to sleep the pain away. So
I saw the popcorn buckets. That's probably my favorite popcorn bucket ever. The recent popcorn buckets. It looks pretty dope.
Is it the alien head one, the xenomorph, or is it the face hugger?
There's a face hugger, and I guess it's like lights up and stuff.
Okay.
It looks pretty cool.
I thought I saw one that looked like a xenomorph head. It looks sort of like a butt plug dildo thing. But
yeah. Wolverine thing.
Call it the fuck bucket.
It'd be fun if you could like press a button and the thing comes out and, and then like it drops popcorn out of your mouth that way. Like,
The internet would ruin that toy.
oh yeah, they should make an alien heads Pez dispenser and a similar thing. You know.
I wonder. Ooh. Pez, if you're still alive out there, come visit the Pitch Nerds. Okay.
Need that food to get here. Fucking medication.
Rumble.
Anyway, so this is interesting. So, Netflix is greenlighting a Ghostbusters animated series.
Okay. Isn't this is this supposed to be within the real Ghostbusters universe?
Huh?
Is this supposed to be the? Because I heard a rumor, which means that it's factual, that it's going to be inspired by the real Ghostbusters, the '80s show.
Which they had to call it that because the kids were confused.
Yeah, because there's the other Ghostbusters one with the chimp.
Yeah, and it was a gorilla.
Oh, that's the gorilla. That's right.
Yeah, I think her name was Tracy. I remember watching that as a kid. I didn't care. Apparently that was first anyway.
Yeah.
But
one of those
yeah,
old Hanna-Barberas.
No, it was a live action show.
Oh, you know, so it was both. There was a live action, and then there was the animated version.
Yeah, I know, but I think the live action was what predated everything.
Yeah.
But but as a kid, I knew the cartoon. I didn't until as an adult look this up.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I remember playing with my friend because he had a broken down car in his garage, and we would pretend we were on that show, and he would play Tracy, and he would pretend to drive the car with his feet like the gorilla did. Because everybody liked Tracy if you actually gave the show a watch.
Yeah.
It was most definitely not Ghostbusters, though. That's why they released the real
Ghostbusters. See what they did there.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I care about this. Elliot Callan will serve as showrunner. Which I don't actually know a lot about. Let me pull it.
Still need to see Afterlife.
You haven't seen it yet? I watched that. It was a Ghostbusters movie.
It sounds like it recaptured the magic.
There's a lot. Again, there's a lot of characters and a lot of stuff going on. They tried to make the main character the girl from the first one that kind of looks like Spangler.
Okay.
And then she has a sort of, but not really, vaguely romantic-ishly feeling, but not really. Maybe just friendship with this ghost character.
Okay.
And she's like a fire ghost. And then there's a god, and then what's that guy? The Indian dude that's in a lot of stuff. He was in.
Kumar.
I'm going to talk about him soon.
Kumar.
But he was in.
I forget his name.
He got really ripped for that one Marvel film.
Yeah, for Eternals.
Yeah, Eternals. That guy. He plays the fire or something or other. I don't know. It's like, and they did that thing where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna learn how to wield fire," and then it's like he could barely do it, and then he shows up at the pivotal moment. He's like, "No, I can do it like an expert because I learned off screen."
Okay. Anyway.
I guess this is making me feel more promising. Elliot Collin, Kallan. He is a writer-producer who's known for MSD3K, the 2017 version, Daily Show.
The voice of Crow, I believe, one of the Crows.
I guess he's the showrunner for it. So you know what? You attach someone I like to it, like as far as like the creative aspect of it, and that kind of changes my. I'll give it a check if it's like more designed for adults. Oh, my coffee is here this time.
Yes. We'll be right back.
Okay.
We're back again with coffee in tow. What did you get, Lord Frosty? What is your preferred beverage of today?
You don't like cold coffee, but I got a cold coffee, and it's called a black tie.
Oh, cold coffee. Poor push. Hot coffee.
Dude, it's dope. It's got condensed milk at the bottom. If you've never had condensed milk.
Oh, I love that. That's Vietnamese coffee. I love the condensed milk in the Vietnamese
I
coffee.
put that shit on ice cream. It's amazing.
It's
When I was
awesome.
a little kid, I used to sneak spoonfuls of it from the fridge.
Nice.
Ah.
See, for me, it was the whenever we had Cool Whip. My God, if we had a tub of Cool Whip in the freezer, it's done. I'm just gonna sit there and just in the middle of the night be like ladling that shit until there's nothing left, and find a way to like hide the evidence.
As you need to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, James Cameron explains the title for Avatar 3,
Fire
and
Nation.
Ash. Fire and
I called it. Didn't I call it? Remember when I called it?
He says fire can represent hatred, violence, trauma, possible misuse of power. Ash represents the aftermath of all that energy, which is grief and having to live with what you've done.
So, Fire Nation.
I guess.
That looks delicious.
All right, dude, I'll give you some food.
Yeah, cool. I mean, he is you know how James Cameron had the actors hold their breath for a long time so they can do the things. I wonder if he's going to do the same thing, or he's just going to light them on fire and be like, okay, in action, and just train their bodies
well,
to
can handle flames.
yeah. Fire Nation. Yeah, I mean that'd be groundbreaking storytelling, right? I believe so.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about dangerous acting conditions that when we get to Behold Nerds. I'm pretty sure that kid was not able to breathe based on how red his face was.
I can't wait to talk about that movie. Anyways.
Okay. There's food in your bowl, dude. For this news, Kumail Nanjiani, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
The guy we're talking about.
Yep. Kumar.
Like I said, you guys know him from Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. What else? He was in Silicon Valley, I think. He was also in The Eternals, a few things. He's a pretty famous actor. And I genuinely like him. But I don't know if this is official. I've seen a lot of sources claiming it's official. But the rumor is he's going to be Booster Gold.
Okay. Oh, I think he'd be great. He's got the personality for it. I think he can pull off a Booster Gold.
See, I don't want him as Booster Gold. I'll explain why.
Okay.
I don't care about any of that discussion about race swap or any of that crap. But without me seeing it, I already know exactly how he's going to portray Booster Gold.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like hiring Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, you sort of know what you're going to get. Like Ryan Reynolds, Adam Sandler.
And so I'm going to watch him play that kind of nerdy, losery character, just like I just saw in Frozen Empire.
Okay.
And so that's what I mean. And it's kind of like, oh, I'm just going to see that character again, you know?
Okay. That's fair.
If we were going to put an existing character archetype onto the character, the one I'd like to see is the guys from Scrubs. Have one play Ted Cord, the other play Booster Gold. I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, okay. Is he officially Booster Gold, or is he just in talks?
I'm saying it's official.
Okay.
I don't see an official source saying that.
Okay. So it must be true.
Well,
It emerged from the deep web.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be true.
Yeah.
So, again, it's not that I dislike him as an actor. It's not that I have any issue. It's just because I'm not getting Booster Gold. I'm getting that guy doing that performance.
Maybe in the hands of the proper director, right? Because an actor's supposed
Yeah,
to
I
listen
mean,
to the.
I'll watch it, but I would have gone with someone else. Who, I don't know. But I don't want that character again, just with Booster Gold paint applied to him, you know?
Actually, you know who I think would make a great Ted Kord is Nathan Fillion. I think he'd be great. I mean, I think he'd also do like an okayish Booster Gold, but I think he'd make a better Ted Kord, and just find somebody who can pair off Nathan Fillion. God, what's his face? My God, Neil Patrick Harris. Bam, Booster Gold. Neil Patrick Harris, Booster Gold, Nathan Fillion, Ted Kord. I think that'd be great.
Nathan Fillion going to be Guy Gardner, though?
Would he? I mean, no, forget Guy. Oh, yeah, he is Guy Gardner, isn't he? I can see it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
I
mean,
that's me.
Guy Gardner, I think you could actually nail pretty hard, you know?
Yep. Give him the Hawaiian shirt. Casual. What else?
He's good at playing those kind of assholes, you know, that are very full of themselves.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he works well for what do you call it, Guy Gardner. And he maybe doesn't look like him, but he looks like him.
Like I don't see him in my head. Like maybe that's my problem. Because Guy Gardner's sort of like a stockier guy. He's just, I don't know, just he's an asshole. I don't know. God, it sucks how they did him an injustice. They just ripped his arms off and he got crushed or something. They took him out pretty quick.
Guy Gardner?
Yep.
Despicable Me franchise director Chris Renaud, when asked if he could bring the Minions to live action, God, I hope not, but defines this world as that it is animated and it allows us to get away with what we can get away with. I totally agree with that. The Minions as live action would be the weirdest thing ever.
But it's inevitable. It is inevitable. It's inevitable. Look at this. We're having live action Snow White with the dwarves, CGI dwarves. It took 80 years, but we got it. It is inevitable that we are going to get a live action Despicable Me.
The dwarves are going to be CGI,
right?
Just hire dwarves.
Oh God, we're just gonna not go down that rabbit hole. That's a long rabbit hole of internet discussion that will upset you.
Okay.
Yep.
I just don't get.
Peter. Apparently, Peter.
Pull a Lord of the Rings, you know.
Right, but Peter Dinklage spoke out allegedly saying that however you want to identify them as, short people. Peter Dinklage said that people like that shouldn't continue taking these archetype roles based on their physique. Like, they should be more than that. And I agree. I love Peter Dinklage in what was it, Days of Future Past? I thought he was fantastic.
Well, then, like I said, do the Lord of the Rings thing with the perspective.
Right. So I don't know. They just, so originally they hired what the internet called the diversity actors, and you had like the live action versions, and it was they were the magical creatures back then, and that was one of the earlier versions of the script. You can look it up. It's just noise that's been, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. It's just,
neither do I.
It's noise. It's all noise.
I didn't know that they made. It just feels weird to have, because I saw the trailer for it. I guess I didn't even notice it was like animated dwarves. I just they went with like a realistic design then or something.
Yeah. So
probably wasn't paying that much attention though, to be honest.
Yeah. Originally, allegedly, there were 7 magical creatures. There's pictures of this. You can look it up. It doesn't. They're not the dwarves. They're not recognizable. I would use that word. They're not recognizable as the seven dwarves. And,
Oh, I see what you're saying. They called it the seven magical creatures or something.
right, and then they had live action characters, and I wouldn't call them necessarily recognizable to the source material. I'm going to use that phraseology. Apparently,
Yeah, but I mean,
apparently this didn't test well in focus groups and in the test screening, so they've been trying to essentially make this more like the original. So they brought back the seven dwarves. I'm not sure the fate of the original magical creatures, if that was even a real thing. I don't know. It's just it's that rabbit hole.
yeah.
It's that rabbit hole. That's it.
Well,
I think Gal Gadot. I think she looks phenomenal as the Evil Queen.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I thought it looked neat.
It looked neat. I mean, it's. I'm not a big Snow White fan. I rewatched it a few years ago, and it was fine enough. I didn't find anything offensive by it. It was actually just a cute little tale. Yeah, the end.
I saw someone saying something like, "Oh, it's Snow White. It's fine." And it was some comment about the new movie, like, and it was like they were talking about it like the previous Snow White is the Snow White, and it's like, well, that's still just a version of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure, right? That wasn't an original story. It's probably like a
No.
Grimm's, right?
Yeah. Apparently, Snow White has a sister named Ruby Red, I think, according to Mrs. Cap. I've since thought of if somebody were to start their own like animation company to sort of mimic the Disney model by telling the Grimm's fairy tales, but telling them in, you know, you have the old Disney movies. They start off with the opening of the book and it's telling the fairy tale. Like treat it like that, but actually tell the original source material, because nobody knows the original source material anymore, to where it's new and completely unrecognizable from what people think is the original, and just tell the Grimm fairy tale, because each Grimm fairy tale is a dark tale that has some sort of moral consequence tied to it, and that was the whole point of them, is the Grimm fairy, to treat them as the Grimm fairy tales that they are, not the ha ha ha, but treat them as the cautionary tales and do them beautifully animated. You can have songs, music, and everything. I think Don Bluth, if I were to just travel back in time like Bill and Ted style, like snatch Don Bluth in his prime and bring him. He's still alive. I get it. Actually, I can just snatch him up right now.
You know, they had to change. Like take the Little Mermaid. You couldn't have them fall in love with Ariel and then like be like, and then she died. You know, like, kids would be like, Ariel died.
Yeah, Ariel fucking died. You know who else died? Bambi's mom, Littlefoot's grandparent. No, his mom. He had to go find his grandparents. That's right. Yeah. Y'all need to hurt a little bit.
You can kill the parents in Disney lore. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
It's full of orphans, like a D&D game. You never played D&D, everybody's character's an orphan.
Mm-hmm.
I just tried to flip the script on that once. And I was like, no, I just do this for fun. My house is over there. I live with my mom and dad. They think I'm great. And then like they come back to the town, and they're like, oh, we're gonna say the others. I'm like, bye guys, and I go home, and then they like come over to my house. And like, hey guys, all right, get ready, bye mom.
It's awesome. I hear it.
I'm going to play with my friends.
Mother screaming from the other room. Anyways.
You got food, you. Go eat.
No.
That's what he's asking for. I don't know
Yeah.
if he can. He's popping his head up, going, "Hey." But there's already food in his bowl.
But he wants what you have. That's the taste.
No, he doesn't. He does not want what I have.
He thinks he wants what you have.
No. If I walked in here with ham or tuna, then yeah, the waft he would be, especially tuna. He would be like, "Oh, you're gonna give me that, aren't you?" Like what I usually do if I got canned tuna is I squeeze the tuna water into a bowl for him, and I give that to him, and that's like his favorite treat. The delays for Craven allowed for reshoots to take place to sharpen the characters and tighten the plot. Sony is so happy with the film that they're working with J.C. Chandler again. They're so happy to in the film, and that they are working with J.C. Chandler again on a murder mystery film inspired by Succession.
Okay.
Did you see the trailer?
Yeah. We were talking about it. The rhino's in it, and he's wearing pants. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I made a joke about that with Super Killers. Like, I was like, because he was like, well, it's sort of comic accurate, sort of, and I was like, he's wearing pants, and like, and he was like, you know, there's hybrid rhinos,
right?
And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm not. I mean, I and he was like, I just thought he was in a mech, and then I decided to be like, well, actually, there is a mech rhinos out there, and
right.
But
I thought the
I just
trailer
think
looked
his
cool.
face. I think his face looks weird.
Raven's face or Rhino's face?
Rhino, and I can't get over Rhino and pants. I just can't.
Well, maybe,
Whether
maybe they'll erase that or something during a
it's
post-production.
from like the it's not Ultimates, but it's the other one. But yeah, that's where they're pulling it from. They did it in the cartoon. I think that Ultimate Spider-Man. But yeah, he has pants. But I just Rhino and pants is like, you know, some people hate Batman and purple gloves, and some people love it.
Right.
Yeah, that's my thing. Right.
It's like putting Sonic in pants or putting Sally in pants. You don't put Sally in pants. You keep her in her little vest. She needs to remain pantsless. You don't put pants on Porky Pig. Then you can't Porky Pig it. There you go.
In case you're wondering, I looked this up because I was like, I've been wondering this for a long time. How does Rhino go to the bathroom? Because, you know, that suit bonded to him, and there's nowhere to, like, go. But apparently there is, like, a seam at the back you can open and let waste come out.
Oh. Is it zipper? Is it like a flap? Like,
I mean, I assume it's like a more... Because, I mean, the suit is, like, indestructible or something, so it's probably, like, you have to, like, unscrew some shit. I don't know.
Why can't he get out of it? Well, what's the lore?
It bonded to his skin.
How? Like, what's the why?
I don't remember. It's been years, but yeah, it's he basically they put the suit on, something happened, and then
it's just on him.
It bonded to his skin, and yeah, he's basically stuck in it. He has had it removed a few times, like Doom removed it in one universe. And that was more flex for Doom because they were like, you know, scientists have been trying to do this for this many years, and Doom did it in 5 minutes. You know, one of those things.
It's fantastic.
By the way, after we got off, I was like, because we were like, oh, fuck, who's Danger? And I was like, the robot. I'm like, Danger. Finally, like,
Lost in space.
Helped that I looked it up. But yeah, Danger is the Danger Room, but sentient.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Danger, Will Robinson.
No, last week we were talking about Danger.
Okay, okay, yeah. So
yeah, Danger and then Polaris, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Danger is the Danger Room, but sentient.
Okay. So,
and then Polaris, Magneto's daughter, has all of Magneto's powers and blah blah blah.
So what would the Danger's power be? Like, are they? What was that light construct in Star Trek that was like the ship, but it was a hologram? Like, would it be like that? Like, what would its powers be? Like being able to.
Her powers. I mean, she's definitely. Did you just accidentally drop a pillow on you stupid?
Silly cat.
What are her powers? I mean, yeah, that's basically what I. She has the superhuman strength, stamina, durability, reflexes, blah blah blah. And then flight, and then her main power is the technoforming, so she can mechanically regenerate, shift, interface, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like cyborg, but pure robot and female.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, she also does have hard light holograms. Basically, the powers of the Danger Room.
That's awesome. Okay. That's fantastic. So she almost has like Green Lantern powers. She has hard light holograms. That's cool.
To a degree, I wouldn't say it's like quite Green Lantern yet. But yeah.
Like a primitive version of it.
Yeah. But anyway, that was just bugging me. So it's like after we got off last week. Computers. There we go. Anyway, yeah, I like the trailer though. For Craven, I'll probably give it a watch. I don't know if I would. It's something I'll go to see in theaters, but I definitely check it out when it's on digital.
Yeah, I'll watch it when it goes on digital. I thought any bear trap to the head kills are always welcomed in my book. I think it's a type of kill that isn't really explored enough. Nothing like a dude coming out just swinging a bear trap and just right on dude's head. I like that it was a hard R trailer. Like they didn't hold anything back, and that's good because. Now I wonder, it probably won't ever happen. Which, well, maybe, but they're allowing movies like this to be R-rated. When can we get the R-rated like Venom movie, like as graphic as that? I want to see that. We didn't really get that with Carnage. Just, I don't know.
I would like to see like I mean, I think they had some success with the Venom they went with, so that's the style they like. But
yeah,
it would be cool to have like a more Venom.
Yeah, I agree.
Frozen 3, which as soon as I read this, I was like, there was a second one?
Yeah.
And then I have some vague memory about a horse or something.
Yeah.
And then, wasn't it like the Frozen, the ice-powered girl was like, I want to be the main character. And they're like, no, it is her turn. That's vaguely what I remember of the movie.
My brain doesn't care.
Well, anyway,
but it makes a bunch of money, and there's probably the whole universe is probably plotted out to Frozen X. That'd be awesome.
Well, we're getting Frozen 3 in 2027 for those that do care.
Yeah.
I included because I was just like, wait, I don't remember the second one.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do you remember it at all? Like,
yeah. So there's Mrs. Cap can recite all of this. There was this Idina Menzel song that came out. She's the one that sang the first Let It Go song, voice of Elsa. She came out with a new song that was good, but wasn't as good as Let It Go.
Yeah,
but the movie still made a bajillion dollars, and as forgettable as it was to me, apparently it was memorable enough to others. So, bada boom, here's number 3. Let's do it. We
should marry Iceman.
We thirst for more Frozen. We need more. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't know if I don't know much about it. I just knew the song, and I don't even think I ever saw the first one all the way through.
Yeah.
I did see the second one because I think I went to the movies with my friend and her daughter.
Mm.
And but again, I don't fully remember the first one, and then the second one, something about a horse, and like I don't know. And I'm pretty sure Anna was the special one in this one, right?
Something like that. Yeah. She got her own like superpower or something.
Yeah, I mean,
we thirst for more. Give us more, Disney. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Fill our tummies.
We're not their target there, so that's fine.
I know.
That's really all I got in news. You got anything?
Deadpool made a bunch of money. It is.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't even think it was worth. It's like the largest R-rated movie. Yep. It surpassed all the others. It hit $1 billion. All that.
So yay. See, people are willing to go back to the movies. Just have I know
the shitty thing is because it did so. Not that it's a bad thing, but because it's doing so well, it's going to stay in theaters a long time, which means it's going to take longer for me to see it. Someone said something to me that you'd know that if you saw it, and I was like, "The hell, man! Like, what is this? What was that movie? The Itchy and Scratchy movie?" And like Bart's trying to read the book. And then he's like, "Wow, you guys have seen that movie this many times?" And like, It's like anyone that's seen the movie would know that like Nelson punches him. I feel like that right now.
It's terrible. Oh, my heart.
I don't know. I was talking about it with a friend. I know I've ranted about it before, but I get really angry at that. There's that nerd, like for example, someone who's been playing D&D for like years. Will then meet another nerd, and he's been like, I've been this nerd. I've been playing D&D since the 80s, and I played, AD&D, and edition 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, which, blah, 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 and then 5. And they have to be like, I am the most knowledgeable person on this. You are nothing before me, because you've only played it for, like, the couple of years, and you only know one edition. You see that in so many things. I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were like, I said I mentioned Dragon Ball, and they were like, "Yeah, but you're not like a big Dragon Ball fan." I'm like, "How much Dragon Ball do I need to watch?"
Right.
I mean, I know that I haven't read much of the manga, but I've watched like some of Dragon Ball.
Right.
I've watched all of Z. I've watched bits of GT. I've watched Super all the way up to Ultra Instinct. I mean, I've seen films. Like, at what point? How many hundreds of hours of my life before I'm considered like nerdy enough?
It requires all time.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't know. I just there's a certain kind of like pecking order in nerds where they look down at they and try and feel superior, and I don't know. I hate that. Yeah, I forget where we're even going with that.
It's a beautiful segue into our Behold Nerds.
Okay, yeah, we can go into Behold Nerds. I'll introduce it since you picked it. Behold Nerds is our weekly book club of sorts. We take turns picking movies, films, graphic novels, sometimes personal projects, anything we like, and we watch it, discuss it, encourage you guys to watch it as well. Last week, Cap, it was his pick. He chose Caravan of Courage and Ewok Adventure, which was, God, what year did this take?
84.
It was an 84 film, so it was really early. I have seen this film as a child many times, and then I saw it once in more, not recent, but, like maybe in my 20s. And I remember being like, wow, this is just, wow. And then, and I've always hated Ewoks. I mean, really hated Ewoks. I often say Jedi is only good up until they rescue Han. After that, the whole movie goes, because screw Ewoks. There's a famous thing where like the protesters they're hanging outside the Westboro Baptist Church, and they're waving their signs and about God hates, and all this. And then like Kevin Smith showed up with his people, and they were all yelling about stuff. And one guy had just on the picket sign the picture of the Ewok going like this with the circle, the line through it. And I was like, yeah, exactly. That guy knows what's up.
Y'all are wrong. Y'all are wrong.
Look,
wrong.
I am. Anyone that follows us knows that I preach acceptance of all sorts of stuff. Ewoks are just objectively horrible, though.
You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Now, this movie, oh God, so
anyway, Cap decided to punish me with Caravan of Courage and Ewok Adventure.
Gustrava.
When was the last time you saw this, Cap?
So, over 30 years ago, and never in its entirety. This is something that has always been on in the background. Whenever I would go and see my cousins, I think
it came on TV a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Because I think you didn't really get a lot of Star Wars on TV because probably licensing, and that was like a bigger thing. But yeah, just every once in a while, one of the channels would just throw this on,
right?
And you would turn it on because you were a stupid kid that didn't know any better,
right?
And I've probably seen this as a child more than I did Star Wars.
Okay. So I immediately hated this movie. Immediately hated this movie. Why? Because I for starters, where does this take place in the timeline? Because I know that our timeline of the universe, this was this is Fox trying to start squeezing the teats of the franchise to start making all that delicious Star Wars money. And
I think, 'cause, I mean, Lucas was part of this one. I think Lucas just likes bad stuff.
so
And he was like, I'm going to do a children's tale about
right.
the Ewoks.
So here's the thing. Lucas has always stated that Star Wars has always been for 12-year-olds, and this felt like, oh, I told my story.
12-year-olds are too smart for this.
Right, and that's sort of the problem. This is meant for a younger audience, but it's bad. It's really bad. You know how some movies back in the day, like Land Before Time is a good one, where it's timeless and it sort of speaks to everybody? It tries to be that, and it isn't that. This is...
Well, that's you can make a good kids movie, even if it is meant for children.
Right.
This was just...
Oh my God.
I have a lot of theories to point out.
So
For those not in the know, the plot is basically this family crashes onto Endor. The parents, like, they come back and they're like, where did the kids go? I don't know. I told them to stay. And then a troll shows up with a big axe, and then
it's called the Gorax. So I actually know of Ewok lore, and anyways, we'll talk more about it. But that big creature is called the Gorax.
Okay, well, the Snorlax shows up with his axe.
Oh, fuck off! You said that wrong on purpose.
And then it's implied the parents are captured, and then we get like a flashback. The Ewoks. So then the narrator kicks in. I think maybe after that, and even he is trying, man. Like, to me, his voice is just like. It kind of came off like a nature documentary, but it's that bored nature documentary voice. For those of you who haven't seen it, or those of you that know it, Kunk on Britain and Kunk on Earth. It's on Netflix. Great show. British woman, and it's like a parody documentary. And she has a very flat British accent. And she just sounds bored. And she's like interviewing professors, and she's like, sorry, Mom, you ever have that where your mind just wanders off? You know?
It gets very meta.
And she's like, she's always like staring off into the distance and stuff. And like, so it's that kind of voice over telling the story.
Just vapid.
Where do you even start? Okay, so here's the.
First off, so the opening scene, you have the parents. So I guess during the breakup of the ship, they got separated because I couldn't tell how.
No, because they explain it. They crashed.
Right.
The parents then went on something, whatever. Okay. They came back and they said, "Where did the kids go?" Right. And then we find out that the Ewoks came and took the kids.
Okay, that's done. That makes sense. That's happy. So, what bothered me though is you can hear the sounds of their footsteps on the soundstage. It's the funniest fucking thing. If you didn't notice it, just you're never gonna rewatch it.
The movie is full. You can see like lines and stuff on the spiders hanging on the.
So I as I'm watching this, I desperately wanted you to be in the room because I think we would have MST'd the hell out of this movie. Because
you could do that with this. I do think a riff tracks would work.
Riff tracks would be,
and there may even be one, but that would save this movie, I think. But no, okay. So here's the thing for me.
Okay.
This movie, anytime they have a scene where they're trying to, none of it makes any sense.
None of it makes sense.
Because they go get like the warrior Ewok, and this kid who's like budget child Luke Skywalker.
God, he's so bad. So his name is Mace, and he's probably the most insufferable character in all of anything ever conceived in Star Wars. Is this kid?
Yeah, but he's got the worst traits of Luke Skywalker turned up to 11.
Right. Oh
God. But like, so they go.
Even they try to give him the same haircut, and they fuck that up too.
But the warrior Ewok's like, no, I don't want to join you guys. And then the shit, he's like, oh, all right, I see. I don't know what made him British, but he's like, oh, I see you're scared and everything, because his voice is very loud and grating.
Yeah.
And then he's like, check this out, and he throws his axe, and it hits a mushroom on a tree, and he's like, yeah. And then the Ewok's like, I got this. And then he throws his axe, and then it hits the tree.
Right.
And then I'm thinking, oh, it missed the mushroom. But then he's like, oh, and everyone's like, wow. And he's like, oh, I've never seen anything. I'm like, all he did was exactly what you did. Yeah, the axe is bigger. Maybe that was the point they were making. But, like, it was two axes hitting a tree.
No, so it was the axe. No, so it was the axe, and the axe hit his axe. So it was like a Robin Hood.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what happened. So it was that moment.
It looked that bad that I couldn't even see. But the one that really like, I was just like, this is just. So they're all camping, and then these wisps show up, right?
Right.
And clearly the wisps are no threat, because one of the Ewoks walks out and he's like, man, screw this, go back to bed.
Right.
They're not even doing anything. They're just flying around.
They're actually kind of cool.
And then the Ewok's like, oh, go bring out the little girl, and she's got a magic candle. And then the candle causes all the wisps to, like, I don't know, get murdered into the candle.
Never explained.
And then like afterwards, the little kid, the boy, he finds one.
And it's all like dead.
And
it looks dead.
He's like, oh, yeah, like look at her, and it's one of the lights. And then like the girl's like, I bet she misses her I wonders what happens to her family. Like, I mean, you just killed them all. That's what happened. You just murdered them, and now you're acting like you didn't, and you're gonna befriend this one.
So what same setup with me was when they were crossing the spider web, right? So
hang on, I got one more point about this fucking thing.
Okay, all right.
Then they're hanging out in the tent, and they're watching the thing dance around, and it starts doing what all the ones are doing outside. In my head, it's like, up, get out the murder candle.
Right.
You know? Like, that's all I could think. No dancing in this.
Right. No dancing. Like all footloose.
That's only allowed if you're an Ewok and you're being a dumbass, because a lot of that is just teddy bears being dumbasses.
So,
well, nothing happens.
Okay, so if I were to look at Star Wars in its entirety, and I'm even shoveling in the Acolyte, all of Star Wars, this is the least Star Wars that's ever Star Wars. Why? Because they use, like, real animal. Oh, there's just real horses. At least glue like an antler to the horse or something to make it look like a space horse. Oh, they're just messing with a ferret. There's nothing alien or...
Ferret.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. We got the Gorax, which in Ewok lore, that's why they live up high in the canopies of the trees, is to evade the Gorax. So they're like the big alpha predators of Endor. So we got that one sort of like wolf creature, what was cool, but other than that, there was no like, yep, there's a very human-like horse. It felt like somebody was trying to tell a Lord of the Rings tale on Endor. A little bit. Like it sort of followed the same thing, and then you had Low Gray, who's one of my favorite Ewoks, when he's doing the thing, and everybody gets a trinket, and then this insufferable kid is complaining that he has a rock that ends up being essentially a Star Wars version of like a faux rock key that you hide your house key in or something.
Yeah, I had to get it inside it, and like, but why even do that? Why not just give him the little arrowhead? You know,
right?
Like. But, like, so much, like, oh, they're just animals. They don't talk. And he's like, he talks. And later he's like, well, yeah, we gotta leave them. They're just animals. They can mimic your speech. Right. They built these tree houses.
Right. They saved your ass
with medicine.
Right.
I mean, and you're just like, oh, they're just like fucking animals. Just
stop it. It's like space racism. Stop it.
It's not. It's just like the water. They come to this stream, and the kid touches it, and then he's stuck into the water, and he's drowning. And right. I think he's drowning. He's hitting the glass to get out, and his face is red. I just imagine being like, yeah, this is good.
This is perfect. This is perfect. Hey, we saw the same thing in The Mummy with fucking what's his face getting hung. That's real footage. Remember in Jurassic Park when the T-Rex broke through the glass and the kids are there? That wasn't meant to break through the glass, but the footage was so good. It really, the terror in that scene of the kids, like, oh my god, the prop broke. Ah!
The famous one is Jaws. You know that one, right?
Which one's that one?
With Jaws? In Jaws, the girl that she's a swimmer and she's getting pulled around and stuff by Jaws, and you just see her moving back and forth in the water. What they did is they tied ropes to her, and they had divers down at the bottom, and they were to pull it back and forth. Mm-hmm. They got a little aggressive, so they started breaking all her ribs and stuff like that.
Oh, shit.
So that's her actually screaming for them to stop.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. They were like, this is great.
Use it.
But anyway, oh, God.
This hurt.
And the thing is, my brain kept checking out, but then I would be like checking back in, and I was just like, I just sat here just miserable the whole time, and it felt so much longer than it was. The pacing was just so molasses. I mean, yeah,
it was Lord of the Rings, the Star Wars tale, in a sense.
That's an insult to Lord of the Rings,
right?
Man.
But you had your wizard, you had your cleric, you had your warrior type. Not the warrior, but like the Gimli type.
I'm fine with them doing that. That wasn't my issue. My issue was just everything else. Like, now we're just gonna cut to the teddy bears frolicking around for like way too long,
right?
And then the narrator.
The Ewoks often like to frolic around during this time of season, the mating ritual of the blah, blah, blah.
And I'm just like, God, is this ever going to end? There's a version of hell where you're just stuck in this movie for life.
God,
I say this is worse than Taxi. I would watch Taxi. This is definitely my most hated Star Wars. I would watch the entire sequel trilogy in one sitting than one sitting of this film. I will take 1 billion Rey Palpatine Skywalkers. I don't care. I mean, at least those movies, like, even if you have a problem with them,
they're entertaining enough. Yeah,
there's cool shit. Like, I mean, it's weird Palpatine's there, but he's this cool, like, fucking undead-looking cyborg.
He's Megatron from fucking Beast Machines, like, all like.
Yeah, or I mean, I could go on a long discussion. I actually really admire the throne fight, again, where they fight all the Emperor's guards and all that, or the Snoke's guards. There's a lot you can be entertained in those. In the same way, I think you could be entertained in the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you can be like, man, oh, that's cool. Roller drones, force speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's just nothing.
There's nothing redeemable about this movie.
Yeah.
I like the warrior guy with the axes. I liked him.
I don't, because they're teddy bears, but they have like freaky like.
So
and then
clearly there's no budget. There's no budget for their mouths to move, and that was.
You see them like sticking their tongues.
Just
like yeah, and then like also, did you notice how sweaty that kid was the whole movie?
I think that kid actually dying. I felt like
imagine the kids in the suits though. Like, I mean, not kids, but the actors in the Ewok suits.
Oh yeah.
Like they must have been melting. Like I don't know. Like, oh boy, I can't believe you put us through this. Like, why did you do this?
Because before people lost sight of like the larger construct that is Star Wars. So to remind those of Star Wars before it was a needless cash grab. Without a clear trajectory, it was a soulless cash grab with no trajectory. So, plus I had never seen this movie in its entirety, and my God, oh my God, this was hard to get through. This is hard to get through, and you know what they could have done? It could still have been a bad movie, but had they actually used make it look more Star Wars instead of using horses. You don't use horses, and my brain couldn't figure out where in the mythos this took place. Was this pre-Empire? Because the Ewoks should know about, humans and have something. And if this is post Empire,
I think it's pre-Jedi. Because
right, okay,
here's my theory: because they tried to take down the ATST the same way they learned to take down the big giant using the rope.
Right?
Yeah,
right.
So I think they were like, "Hey, that worked on him.
Right.
Why don't we use it on the ATST?"
So my brain also went there, so that's good. And also in my head, I'm thinking, well, we don't know who these people are. We haven't seen the sequel yet. At least I haven't.
There's the sequel to this thing?
Maybe. I told you, Mrs. Cap, but there's the first one and the second one. Mrs. Cap said the second one was better. You're like, oh, I bet it's Dune. I'm like, oh, we watched anger management, and we have our anger management skills. Gustaba. It's going to get rough.
If you make us watch, I warn you. I have been considering revenge this whole week. I know your weaknesses. At first I was thinking Birdemic, but then I realized then I have to sit through Birdemic too. And then I was like, what does Cap hate that I don't mind? Well, then my brain also went anime. I was like, could Cap stand Bo?
What?
You know?
What?
And I was like, because I can kind of handle that. Because I also thought British for a while, because like, what if, because you have a hard time with British, but usually you'll sit there and be like, appreciate it even if you didn't like it.
Right.
So like then I was like, oh, I know his weakness. The Fifth Element.
Okay, that movie.
I will pick The Fifth Element 4 times in a row if you make me watch another Ewoks film. And then I'll follow it up with just the most anime-iest anime. I'm going to take Bleach, but I'm not even going to take the episodes of Bleach where it's dudes fighting with swords. I'm going to take the filler episodes.
But you don't understand. People have lost sight of what Star Wars used to be. Everybody's mad at what it is now. They're not angry at what it used to be. I'm an old school type. I remember such things.
I agree with you there. I think anytime you discuss any of this nerd stuff, and I know people younger than us hate this, but we're at this point where it's like, because you see like a movie come out and they're like, oh, ruined Superman or ruined Star Wars or ruined, and you're like, you do realize this stuff has existed for so long,
right?
Like,
there's my
point. Ebbs and flows. Like, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and then they get worried that like, oh, what if that gets lost? That happens too.
Right.
I mean, you just have to accept these things. Like Danny Ketch, I'm like the only one that remembers Danny Ketch. I mean, like Ghost Rider, for those who don't know, and stuff like that. It's just like, yeah, Star Wars. I say this all the time. Star Wars has kind of always sucked. It's just sometimes it's just when it hits really hard.
Right. That's my point. Is that Star Wars has always done this. This is nothing new. Quit acting like it's something new. Quit acting like it's been doing something it's never done. It's at its core, it's trying to teach virtues to 12-year-old boys. Look at this brat character, man. Rock, fuck this Rock, man. Insufferable Luke. It's like the Kirkland brand Luke Skywalker, insufferable to the core. And God, even to the way he like drew his gun, because he would grab it this way, but then he'd switch hands and go like this. It was weird, bro. Just have it holstered this way and just go, what are you doing?
Didn't you have an Ewok carrying it for him around like half the time?
Yeah, it's like, it was fucking weird. What are you doing? Like,
and then it was weird because the teddy bear was armed.
Right. So my favorite part was when they're crossing the spider web. Right now, out of nowhere, here comes a spider, and in my head, you're a spider. This is your home, and all of a sudden, there's these teddy bears. And it's like, oh, hey, fellas, what's up? I'm a friendly spider. Just welcome to my home, I guess. And the response is, Shia, and they chop the spider, and it drops into the pit. Just, spider didn't do nothing. It's just like, hey, guys, what's up? Welcome to my abode. And they're just like, meh. So they cross safely, and all of a sudden, like, Mama shows up. Hey, you fucking assholes! You killed my kid. You're trespassing in my home. try to just say, oh, hey, welcome, strangers, but you killed my kid, fuck you. So to fight off the angry mother spider, the one has to use the magic or something on it to hypnotize it or something. That was cool.
And meanwhile, like it's clearly on like wires. And
it's just.
And then did they knock it down, and then somehow there was a portal down there that like teleported it to the kids, or was that another spider?
Yeah. So have you ever played miniature golf? And you hit the ball into like the spinny tchotchke thing, and then down below, and sometimes it can come into one hole, sometimes it pops out another hole. That's the way I could have chalked it up as, it fell down like the Goonies hole. Maybe they went on like a fun water slide or something, and they just happened to pop out conveniently, elsewhere. That's what I thought. Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? It was more interesting that in and of itself is more interesting.
It was like a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
I mean, and then but they were like over there, so it would have had to like go fall, then like perfectly angled to slow it down, then hits an underwater like geyser or something.
Right, to shoot it back up. It's like a Minecraft mechanism. If
what the spiders do for fun, they just wee.
Right. If I could point to a scene that I kind of enjoyed, because I find it interesting that the Ewoks are like the little warrior teddy bears that I will justify to the fucking end. The Ewoks, the movie makes you empathize with them. It's not like they just show up and the battle is won. No, they get their asses kicked. In fact, they get their asses kicked even harder. Well, the main character is getting beat up by his dad's boss, waiting for his dad to eventually like chime in so he can save the day and have his redemption.
No, because here's the thing.
That's that all argument, it is.
That argument, let's apply that argument to something else. Like, if you look at Lord of the Rings, you have like Gandalf and Aragorn and all those, and those are the main characters.
Right.
Now, they wouldn't win without their army, and the army wouldn't win without them. Their army is a bunch of cool guys with swords and stuff fighting giant elephants and stuff, and it's cool.
Right.
No, they didn't do that in this. They tried to go. You had Aragorn and you had frickin' thing with Luke and with Leia and Han. You had your primary characters, but instead of having this cool army of like warriors of Rohan and shit, you had
and Right, and then they show up, and then holy shit, we're okay.
They only won
surprise.
Because of the Ewoks.
Right, because without the Ewoks to stall for time, it was all about stalling for time while the Emperor was doing his nonsense.
Dropping giant logs to crush frickin' ATS.
Right, but they were fighting the Gorax, okay? That's why they were adapted to fighting these larger scale things.
Having a lame army is still a lame army. You can justify it all you want. It's an army of teddy bears. They could have done anything, but they were like, you know what, teddy bears.
Well, Mrs. Cap did say the second one is better than the first, but that is yet to be seen. My favorite scene, if I were to point to one, was when they're trying to distract the Gorax, and you got the one that's like, hoo-hoo, look at me, come and get me, and the Gorax is like, ugh, trying to stomp around, trying to get this little bastard. I thought it was a fun little, thing. I enjoyed it.
Let me try and pick out a scene that I thought was good. I am struggling. The one thing that I kept thinking about was where he's like, whatever the kid Ewok was, they were like, he was like, he yells for him to come in Ratchet or something, and he's just jumping up and down on the tree, and then the tree whacks the horse,
and that horse
but it just keeps running, and it's just running and running and running and never stopping, and I'm like, they have to chase it won't stop, and I'm just thinking, wait, okay, so this is your vehicle of choice to put the children in. You're going into a land where no Ewok has ever returned from, and you're putting him in the world's skittish horse that will just not stop running. That horse was cartoonishly 2 zip codes away because something hit its butt. I mean, like
You know what? I never thought of it like that. I thought it was an obnoxious scene.
like
But
all it would take is like a little monster to be like, "Roar," and they're like, "Oh, look, our children are going away."
now, see, I would like to think that it was this family, this imperial family, who are what allowed the Empire to gain notice of this remote world, so they can set up the forest moon of Endor. Like that's where my brain went. Just
Okay.
yeah, like here's this. Now, granted, we haven't seen the second one yet, so to presumably this family, because why are you all the way out in the Endor? Like in Endor, there's nothing out there. That's the reason why the Empire went out there, is because there's nothing out there. So why were they going out there? What were they? What was their purpose?
But I thought they were just like passing through or something.
Oh right, it's like so. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe they were there to like see if there was one of those things. Cause like maybe like Endor used to just be desert, but now there's like life everywhere. So like some kind of Sith made like another Jedi down there.
Okay.
Like it turns out Endor is actually the planet.
The planet from Acolyte.
It all connected.
So what is your rating, my friend? For
it's a death by snoo snoo, as hard as you can snoo snoo.
For this,
I will if I can say one. Okay, I can't even say this. I can understand how you could put a kid in front of this and they would just watch it
and be entertained.
Because kids are dumb,
right?
But it's not good kid
dumb.
TV.
It's not good dumb.
Yeah, this is what causes brain rot. But your kid, I mean, look.
This is what ends up on PBS.
It's sad. You will emotionally scar your child, but
just off the lifeless expressions of Ewok
put on
faces.
The Never-Ending Story.
Yes.
Instead of this.
Right.
You know, like they're gonna be really upset because the horse.
Artax.
But Artax. But at least they will. It'll grow their creativity. This I feel like is it's a mental suck.
So again, the biggest thing for me is that they didn't even attempt to give us.
Death by Snoo Snoo is too good for it, honestly. If I do a rating below that,
okay,
this is below Taxi and Far shows we watched.
Okay, you know how the internet is complaining that Acolyte is a mindless cash grab. You know, this is a mindless cash grab. But one thing that Acolyte did was it felt like Star Wars. Like they took the universe and they made it familiar, different but familiar. They cast horses and weasels. They couldn't even give us like a new source of transportation. There's a glue. Remember how in the original Lost in Space they took a monkey and put little fucking giblets on his head to make it look like an alien monkey? They didn't do that with the horses.
I do have a question. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Because I've heard arguments on either side, and I don't know if this is just there's multiple canons or what.
I mean, clearly at this point.
Well, I know there is at this point, but is the Force? Are they using the Force in this, or is magic and the Force two separate things?
So I always assumed that it was magic because the way that.
See, in my brain, I've heard also that the Force kind of works like D&D with the weave.
Okay.
You're still tapping into it. You're just using it differently.
Right. So now that the Force has been, dare I say, in air quotes, fleshed out a little bit more, I can see like their version of magic just as a means of tapping into the Force. Yeah. My brain is okay with that. That's why I had no problems with Acolyte with them calling it the Thread. Because it's like, oh, it's just another means of somebody else explaining like we see this with religion. There's 30,000 different versions of this thing. They interpret it a certain way. The Jedi is a religious thing, so I'm okay with there being other religions out there in the universe who are exploring the same thing but in a different way. That's why I didn't have any issues with.
I like D&D. They use the weave, and so and then different people can tap into the weave differently.
Okay.
Like you have clerics, they're still using the weave to cast spells, but they do that because they worship gods and they pray to their gods, who gives them the ability to do that. Then you have warlocks; they make a deal with a powerful being who imbues them the power to touch the weave.
Right.
Or you have wizards; they just are nerds,
right?
Who just studied the shit out of it. And they were like, I think I can do it. And then sorcerers, they're just like
raw magic.
I'm magic already.
Right.
Like, I have dragon blood, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I always think sorcerers, they're that asshole kid that's like just got everything going for them from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't even have to try and learn magic. I just was born with it. Like, yeah. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then bards, I'm currently playing a bard. They use music, and poetry and storytelling.
Right.
But yeah.
So this is a gut-churning death by snoo. Oh my goodness gracious.
Why did the water suck the kid in though? And
because they needed to use the magical staff.
Yeah.
Hello, Chief.
And those Ewoks, they were not hauling ass. He's under there just.
Yeah, my God, they're just watching. They're watching the actor die in real time. That's what's happening.
And she's just like,
there's no urgency.
And my brother, and then it's slowly wanders over, grabs a stick. When he walks, rope, and then it just, and then they're use your magic stick.
Remember when people were complaining about how bad the prequels were acted, and any Disney property has been acted? This was probably the worst Star Wars acting. God, I will sit through the holiday special.
They're little kids.
1,000 times over. The holiday special. No, this is made in '84. We had child actors. This is peak child actor.
I mean, I know, but I don't.
Oh, God.
It's little kids are bad. If you didn't have the budget,
no budget. They couldn't glue googly eyes on a horse. They couldn't paint the weasel.
You're talking the acting, though.
I'm talking, yes.
I agree with you, the acting was bad, but if you actually give the parents, it wasn't good acting, but you could see they were actors.
So it sort of reminded me of a bad Lost in Space episode, or like an episode of... Okay, so this could have been an episode of Lost in Space. Just a self-contained Lost in Space, and then at the end, after they have the smaller scale Ewok celebration, they, I don't know, set up a beacon and get... Oh, that's what happens in the second one. They salvage a beacon or something, and they alert the Empire of their presence, and the Empire rolls in, and that's what starts allowing them to start building the thing.
I don't know.
One can only speculate. But anyways,
I'm hoping if you make me watch the second one, I'll be angry. Now the only way here's how I would make the sequel to this film is so the Empire shows up and they're like, oh, we need to build this thing. And then, all of a sudden, the Ewoks are like, yup, chop, chicken, chow. And then just... Also, I did think about it. Or, and I'm going to borrow from the Acolyte here. Have, the Jedi show up and then be like, oh, this is a society of force-wielding fucking teddy bears. And then they, test one teddy bear and they're like... they're jump, and they're taking the things, and then we get Jedi teddy bears. But I really want the scene where they pull the children from the family just to watch these creatures.
Really dramatic. Yes, because we've seen this level of drama with the Ewoks before in Jedi. When you see the one mourning over the loss of its friend,
and then Vader comes in after the thing's crying. And first the other ones come by and they're like, "Wow, what an uncool Ewok! That's the most uncool Ewok I've ever seen." It's the kids from this movie. They come by, wow, that Ewok's uncool. And then they walk away, and then Vader just comes by and cuts off his head. Instant classic.
It is your pick, my friend.
If that's what Mrs. Cap is saying the sequel is, I will watch that. We just watch it right now.
Fuck. Anyways, it is your pick. So what are we?
I put a lot of thought into this, and then I decided I didn't want to do anything mean. So then once I decided that, I was like, "What the fuck are we gonna watch?" And so in a panic this morning, because I had troubled night.
You're not allowed to be mean because I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to make a point about the greater purpose and
I'm
the
allowed to do
thing of
what I
Star
want.
Wars. There's no volition. I'd never seen this. I'm physically ill from watching this movie. I'm still physically ill from watching this movie. They couldn't. They couldn't put web feet on the weasel. Like, God painted a different color. They had this shit figured out 30 years ago in Star Trek. What are you doing?
Well, anyway, I thought we would go with a James Gunn film. Not sure if you've seen it. I would like to revisit it. Belko Experiment.
Oh no! I wanted to see this movie. So okay, good. Yes,
okay, so it's a rental. So I think you can get it on Prime. It's on YouTube. It's $3.99.
Mm-hmm. This is the one where they're trapped in the the office, and they have to sort of fight their way out or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It has Bill Hader, right?
It's no. Think of like Hunger Games.
Okay.
But it's you go to work in an office, and then they pull a Hunger Games on you, and that's what it is, and it's an experiment, where they do this. I think I saw it was for rent on YouTube, so it should be fine. Anywho, I'll double check that. Let's see what else. Do you want to jump into Battle Nerds?
Yeah, Battle Nerds. So, yeah, this is our weekly segment where we roll from a list of 100 contenders to put them together in a battle to the death. Last week we had Darth Vader versus Iron Man.
Yeah, you can rent it on YouTube for sure.
Perfect. I gave you the Facebook polls. Who ended up the winner?
Oh, so it was close. I thought it was going to be. So they tied on Twitter, but we did have some people just sharing their opinions, which was what put it over. Like, and then you were like Vader, and then you were like 4 votes. I was like, does that mean they tied? Did they both go out? And then no, but it was Iron Man by just 1 single vote. So this is really close.
Oh shit! Damn.
But yeah, it was. But yeah, I mean, if you remember when I answered the polls, I thought they both went out. That's why I was like, fucking Vader.
Oh, okay. I thought Vader just steamrolled through, and you're like, that fucking guy.
No. I thought they tied, and I was like, oh damn, that sucks because then both are going out. And so we're like right into sudden death. But no, by 1 win, Iron Man squeaks by.
Okay.
So
I think that was a good fight.
It was good, yeah.
But anyways, go ahead.
So that puts actually Iron Man in 2nd place, with Thanos in 3rd. Our 1st place is obviously still Rogue. So Iron Man has 5 wins. Thanos has 4 wins. Superman will be fighting today with only 3, and then Rogue is our champion with 8. So we random roll. We started a list of 100. Now we're down to just a few fighters. This week, I will be representing Superman, and Cap will be representing Thanos.
Yes. So
we do. Let us pick which version, but we were kind of discussing like there's a lot to go over here. So, but which overall version do you think?
So you know what we had mentioned this. I think we should go what's probably more familiar to the average audience nowadays. I'm going to go Josh Brolin, Thanos, MCU Thanos. You mentioned.
I will go Cavill. I do think we should discuss it as their outside of this too. But
so I think this is sort of fair. And you had mentioned me being able to use the Infinity Gauntlet for this one or the Stone. I don't think I need to, because I actually have given this one a lot of thought. So,
when did he have a gem when he defeated Hulk?
He wasn't using it. He wasn't using it.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me lay down my how I see this first between the two of them. So, Thanos took out Thor and Loki off screen, so it was an effortless thing. Um, I would compare. I mean, they're demigods, of course. MCU. We saw that for these powerful demigods that they are, they're still squishy in certain ways. One of which, most important, is snapping Loki's neck. That's going to be important for later on.
Okay.
Secondly, Thanos' just main weapon, that cool blade that he has, that propeller blade, we've established this as being able to cut through, though not without extensive, just hard chopping, is capable of piercing, and not just piercing, but just completely tearing apart Captain America's shield. So, I would say in terms of brute strength, so we have that going for Thanos. Now, if we look at Cavill's Superman, how is he taken out in that one movie that was Batman v Superman? You had Doomsday show up. How did Doomsday take out Superman? He harpooned him with this big fucking fleshy spike. So,
Yeah, well, he was holding kryptonite.
was he also holding kryptonite?
Because he had the spear.
Oh, that's right. Shit. Oh, fuck. Because I forgot that he was holding kryptonite. So,
Yeah, because remember that was the joke. Like, just you rather than what he should have done is grab the lasso. It's not a joke. This is what I've often thought.
Right.
Snyder fans hate me for thinking this, and they'll argue against it a billion times over. But Batman, smart tactical one. Batman goes, Soups, grab the lasso. Soups, boom, boom, boom. Stronger than Wonder Woman.
Right.
Wonder Woman, fuck! Wonder Woman, grab fucking thing. Not weak against kryptonite. Clearly the better fighter.
Right.
Wonder Woman, stab.
Right.
Murders the shit out of him because she was holding her own against him without that.
Right.
And then, Will Cavill holds him at a distance with the lasso? Yeah. Way more efficient way. No one has to die. Now I know you can. It's that's nitpicking and all that, and I get it.
Right.
Fights are narrative, so I'm not throwing shade.
Right.
But I've often thought that. But yeah, he was weaker because he had the kryptonite spear.
Okay. But that said, I think given enough blunt force,
Just to be clear, he did have the Power Stone, but the Russo brothers said he didn't use it. He won because he was the more skilled fighter.
Right, and I think that's what this fight's going to sort of boil down to: is who's the more skilled fighter. Because Thanos is capable of going toe-to-toe against Thor, Captain America, and Stark at peak. He was at least able to hold his own for a while until reinforcements showed up. And a lot of that time, he did not use the stones. It was just...
He went up against 3
Kryptonians. Right.
Kryptonian soldiers.
But if there's one thing that we've
and
established...
God, who was like the biggest badass of all.
Right,
and
right,
we saw
right.
He just dominated Supergirl in the alternate universe.
Right. So
every single time.
So who, as far as who's the more skilled fighter, it absolutely goes to Thanos. As far as raw
but
power,
I'm just saying Superman's dealt with
okay. But as far as raw power, I mean, if it was in like in a fisticuffs, Thanos is the smarter and more tactical fighter, and all he needs to do is get Superman in some sort of chokehold, and he can just snap his neck the same way he snapped Loki's neck, the same way that they've established that he can snap, Cavill can snap Zod's neck. Just a neck injury is all it takes to take down a Kryptonian in the Snyder universe. I think when boiled down to its lowest form, I think with the heat vision, or the heat supervision, I think Thanos can deflect that with his sword thing, the same way he repelled Thor's lightning. I think this battle's a lot closer than just Superman shows up and just murders Thanos. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Superman's fought more skilled fighters than himself, 3 of them, simultaneously, and they were just as powerful as he is, but they were way better fighters. They didn't have flight, and they had to worry about their breathing.
Right.
But then later, Zod, he was way better fighter.
Right.
Literally bred for war.
Right.
Was able to, and he was still able to beat Zod. yeah, you can argue that he can die from a neck snap, but probably so could Thanos.
Right. Right.
So,
Well, right. You should have gone next time. Go for the head. You should have gone for the head. Right.
yeah. But so now the problem is I think Superman's got it in every other way. So I think he's faster, stronger, faster. Like he heat visions him. I mean, like he's got the superhuman senses. He there's just unchain him a little bit. And yeah, I mean, like the one thing Snyder did is he's able to go harder than the MCU did. Right. I mean, and so it's much more. I mean, I guess the MCU is pretty big. Like you see the planet getting pulled, the moon getting pulled into.
Yeah.
But they didn't hit him with it. I mean, so then I would go, okay, granted he has the stones, but there's a lot. So yeah, I think ultimately Cavill comes in.
So here's the thing: if Thor can tank a neutron star. And Thanos can tank Thor. I think if you were to scale it up to that, granted Superman with stars is different, but if you were to scale to that ability to just wield that type of power, I think Thanos is just up there with Superman.
Okay, so same. It's considered the same, not same universe, but it's the same multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Ultron, Zero cuts him in half. So, his durability is in question here. Now, I will give it to you. Cavill's going to try his damnedest not to kill him unless he's, I don't know, fresh from the Zod fight. And he's just like, you know what? Neck snapping. I got to do more of that.
Right.
But, yeah, I just think like he'll be like, I am inevitable, all things.
Just uppercut the space.
Yeah, and he's just gonna be this bruised thing, and then Cavill's just gonna hold him and be like, it's unfortunately the problem Thanos runs into is the same problem that always happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's Superman. And then if we go even greater and we go into the outside of Superman, like a specific term, and we go like, well, what about Thanos with Infinity Gauntlet in the comics? And you're like, well, he was taking on, like, everything up to the Tribunal. Tribunal could beat him. All the other guys went down.
Right.
Eternity, fucking
Chaos.
Yeah, Galactus, like you name it.
All of
them. They're all going down. But then, like, we look, okay, let's look over into the Marvel universe. I mean, the DC universe. Like, he's like, oh, I make you erase from existence. I'm still here. That's because we've got Infinite Frontier now. It's just like, he's the infinite hope on which the entire DC universe rests. So, yeah. Cavill / Superman wins because Superman. And I think that sums it all up. Thanos, normally I would use that same argument. Thanos wins because a lot of people, when they saw this happen in theaters, they were like, oh, I can't believe. They were like mad Hulk lost. No. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but Thanos.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you don't. No, it's fine. That's what I expected.
It's when Wonder Woman punched Mongol. Like,
yeah, it's you just kind of. I mean, now it's changed a bit, but anyway, but with Thanos versus Hulk, yeah, that's what I thought. But I mean, it's Superman versus anybody almost,
Right.
I mean, the only way I see Thanos beating him is prep time. Thanos with prep time, I give it to Thanos every single time.
Yeah, just find some kryptonite.
Yeah, yeah. He would exploit the weaknesses. I mean, except even then, though, I don't know. The problem with Superman is like you hit him with weaknesses, and then he's just like, "Fuck, I'm Superman."
Da 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 da. Yeah.
But Cavill Superman and Brolin's Thanos, if he prepped it out and thought about it, I do think that he could take it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, so
that,
in my head, he defeated all the powerhouses off screen. So he took out the Collector. He took out all of Nova Corps, without all off screen. Like all of his greatest feats, he took out.
but I mean, he came in with the power gem right off the bat.
Right.
So
But
how much
he obtained that. So he obtained that from breaking into Nova Corps to get the thing. So he took out all of Nova Corps.
He had with him.
Yeah.
He had a massive ship with armies. He had a guy that was like basically had Vader powers. You know,
I always liked Ebony Maw. He was creepy in the comics.
Yeah, you're embarrassing me in front of wizards. Just Tony's line. Anyway, but yeah, so I think that's my argument. Superman takes it because Superman, if we're talking specifically Cavill, and it comes down to just a brawl.
Mm-hmm.
I still see that. I see the problem is Thanos would show up, be like, okay, now I'm going to kill half of this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts doing stuff, and all of a sudden, like, Superman shows up and then just destroys him. If we're talking larger other factors with Thanos, like he's got his guy. Well, I mean, Superman's got Batman, Flash, and those people. And I mean, that's just the thing. How fast is fucking Cavill? Cavill's so fast. The Flash is running by him, and he's just like...
That was a great little nuance in that movie. I love that part. So
and
good.
I mean, yeah, and then like they're all just like, and he's just like, yeah, no, I'm fucking Superman, bitches.
Right.
I mean, you look at Steppenwolf versus Thanos, and then Steppenwolf did Superman was just like, bah! Steppenwolf's just like, holy fuck. I mean, he hits him with that huge axe, and it does nothing.
Right.
I mean, he just takes it. That's the thing. Thanos would come out and be, and it would just go plink and probably break on him.
That'd be awesome.
And then he would go, bah!
Into space. Yeah.
And then like Wonder Woman would, and then that would be like a fight, Wonder Woman and Thanos, and you'd be like, oh, this is cool. And then he said, is this guy still bothering you? Bah! That's also the problem with Superman, is because like he makes the rest of the Justice League pointless.
Except for Batman. Batman's got a point. Yeah. But anyways, it is not up to us. It is up to y'all. This is a fun one. I like this one. Let's roll, and then I need to skedaddly do, because we got some...
Oh, shit. I didn't even get to talk about Kite Man.
Oh, well, here, save it for next week so I can watch some episodes.
Well, next week there's a new episode.
Oh, then I'll have to catch up with all of them then. I rolled
what are we rolling?
I rolled a 4. Isn't that Darth Vader?
Probably gonna have to re-roll it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wait, no, hang on. So it's 2 or 4. Well, I think no, it has to be 2 or 4. Oh. Yeah, because we don't have a choice. So you rolled a 4, so that means you got Iron Man. Oh. And I got Rogue.
Okay.
So yeah. So our first place is going up against Rogue with 8 wins, with Iron Man with 5 wins in second place. So this is our top 2. And then the winner of this is going to take on whoever comes out on Thanos and Superman.
Yeah.
And then we'll see who's the Pitch Nerds, Battle Nerds champion.
Round 1 champion. And then we can have a season 2 where we compile a new list.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Like I've been trying to think. I'm thinking like Chitara's one.
No,
because it's a lot easier to put dudes on the list than it is. Like I struggle to find like a balance of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then I feel like we've done all the big ones, but
right.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Anyways, we should wrap it. For those who watch, thanks for watching. For those who are going to tune in later, how do you do? Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. We will have our polls up on Twitter and Facebook. You let us know who you think wins between Henry Cavill Superman versus Josh Brolin's Thanos. Join us in Behold Nerds, where we are watching. Sorry, what are we doing?
Behold Nerds is going to be the Belko Experiment.
The Belko Experiment, yes. I haven't seen it yet, but I remember the trailer, and I remember wanting to see it. It just sort of fell through the cracks with me. Yeah, and end the show with a nerdy quote. Sail us away.
Trouble isn't the word, Superman. I'm telling you right now. It's like doomsday is here.